Well, on the Newshour debate tonight, Lalit Modi, good evening. What is making you more disappointed? The fact that you are likely to be banned tomorrow for life from Indian cricket? Lalit Modi, what's making you more disappointed?
Yes.
The fact that you're going to be banned tomorrow for life from Indian cricket, or the fact that Srinivasan is going to make a comeback?
I'm not disappointed in my being banned. I'm already suspended. My ban, I'll deal with it as and when it happens. But yes, if Srinivasan were to be elected as president again, that will be a major disappointment to me and I think fans all around the world. But it's not over yet. He's not been elected yet. There's still time to go. We got to wait and watch whether that will happen.
Well, your banning is certain. You have any doubts tomorrow? Any final thoughts on why you led yourself to such a situation where you're going to be banned for life from Indian cricket? Or you want to dodge that completely and only talk about Srinivasan?
I don't want to dodge that completely. I think when I get banned tomorrow, which I will probably, I'll be on your show tomorrow night and I'll tell you exactly what I feel about that tomorrow. Let's stick to Srinivasan today.
Well, let's stick to Srinivasan today. Sadbing Jung, I'll come back to you, Lalit Modi. I won't let you go away on this one. Sadbing Jung, should Srinivasan be contesting? Lalit Modi's pet peeve always is N. Srinivasan. Should Srinivasan be contesting the elections? Because, you know, we could be 4 days away from Srinivasan coming back as the BCCI chief. What happened to propriety?
You know, Arnab, it is so sad today when India is sitting in such a vulnerable position with our cricket, whether it is technical, whether it is moral, I dare say whether it is financial. We cannot have someone come on top as the president who has vested interests, who's got to go and protect his son-in-law, who's got to go and protect his own team, because the latest FIR has actually got issues going against his team, where his team might get barred. So, you know, do we need someone? Because the thing that Lalit made a big mistake here, and Lalit Modi, what he did was, when he made the definition of the laws, he left them loose. He didn't really compact them, and that's going to come back to bite him, because if the laws were tight and if the owner and the others were defined with clarity, you would not have this issue today. Srinivasan is going to hide behind the law, and my biggest fear is that at the top, in order to protect his own, will he sacrifice Indian cricket? Will he define these laws in manners which are then going to be impossible for the Code of Conduct or for the internal anti-corruption bureau to actually go and manage? Because if he defines owner as a shareholder in his in ACC, he's got 10,000 people that the anti-corruption unit has to go after. So the issue of definition, in order to protect his son-in-law, will he then play with definitions? Will he play with the law? I don't think he should be there. I think Indian cricket is too vulnerable right now, and I don't think he should be in a position where he will decide our fate.
Kishore Bhimani, what's the bigger story? Lalit Modi being banned for life, which is going to happen 12 hours from now or less, or Srinivasan coming back? Mr. Bhimani?
I can't hear Kishore.
I think I just lost the line there. Let me put that question to Shishir Atangani. Shishir.
You know, it's as simple. I mean, if Lalit was in Srinivasan's position, he would have done the same. You know, he would have made himself available for re-election. And this is the way he's cut from the same fabric of the BCCI. Really, I mean, they're all the same, and they know when they're in power. Like Lalit was, he was the Pied Piper of the IPL. Everybody was around him, and when he suddenly found that, you know, his friends deserted him, there was nobody around him. That's the way the game goes in the BCCI, and Lalit would know that better than probably anybody else. So to be saying today that, you know, what is morally right, what is technically right, makes no sense, because at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're going by what has happened in the past and in the generations of the BCCI. If you look at the archives, you will know nobody concedes that seat of power, and it's never happened in the past. I don't think it'll happen in the future.
Surely, but Shishir, let's be a little direct today with Lalit Modi. He says, I want to speak principally about Mr. Srinivasan. Tell me, Shishir, does Lalit Modi have the moral authority to be talking about Mr. Srinivasan?
If I didn't, I should
don't
be
think
sitting
so.
here. You shouldn't have invited me.
I've known Lalit. I've known
One second.
Lalit
You're
for
the other side,
a
Lalit Modi. One
while
second.
since the IPL. I mean, I've known him since the day the IPL was formed. He did a great job creating this so-called monster. But yes, there have been other people responsible for killing the monster, and he's not the only one to be blamed. I mean, he can be accused of fudging tenders and misappropriation of funds and all those allegations. But the fact is, he created this monster, and it's been given to others to really now disintegrate. And now we've seen what has happened to the IPL. But moral authority, I think Lalit should realize that he's cut from the same fabric as the BCCI, and they were all friends at one time.
Yeah.
Today they've sort of they've had a lover's spat, and it's not the
I think the line got frozen there with Shishir Atangadi, but I think Lalit Modi, you heard that. You spoke about morality, Lalit, always in being the key in Srinivasan's case when you spoke to Times Now, and even today you're saying that. You say it's going to be doomsday if he were to make a comeback. But Lalit Modi, I've asked you this often again. What about your own morality? What about your own morality on this? Before you speak on Srinivasan, let's get one thing right.
I am very clear. Okay.
Because because the argument, and I'll tell you why I'm saying this, Lalit Modi. Because let me say this, let me explain to you why I'm saying this, Lalit Modi. Because the argument with Mr. Srinivasan is not a technical argument, you see, Mr. Modi. The argument with Mr. Srinivasan is a moral argument. It's not about what the BCCI probe says, because it's more about whether with all that has been said about Gurunath Mayappan as per the Mumbai police charge sheet, whether it is moral, whether it is the right propriety, Lalit Modi, for Srinivasan to be making a comeback. So I'm sorry, but I find it slightly hypocritical,
Can
Lalit
I answer
Modi,
the question?
that you should be talking about morality in the context of Srinivasan.
I have no issue about taking that on headlong. First and foremost, I'm suspended right now. I'll be banned tomorrow. What I created can't be taken away. Yes, I'm responsible partly for Srinivasan's rise, without doubt, and I take full responsibility. That's why it's more for me to fight, and doesn't mean that I'm going to sit outside on the sidelines and watch him destroy world cricket. I will keep badgering at him, and I'll be there watching him at the behind. And if he does something wrong, I'll point it out. Whether it's morally right or wrong, it's for you to decide and the viewers to decide. But doesn't mean that I'm going to sit back, take a back seat, and say, okay, fine, because they have charged me and I have done something wrong. I'm happy to admit it day one what I've done wrong. I've admitted it many times on your show. Let him admit he has done anything wrong. He hasn't till now admitted anything. My point is, you learn from your mistakes and you move on. His problem is, he does mistakes, he takes them into account and then makes them again, and he says, who cares, I am the law, I'm going to do it myself, nobody can touch me. That's the difference.
So Kishore Bhimani, do you have sympathies for Lalit Modi tonight?
No, my point is this. Lalit Modi has been out of cricket for 3 years.
I can't hear
Now
you.
today, whatever we throw at him, we throw at him the fact of the MSN or of the bid rigging, of influencing the franchise in other ways. But he's been out of cricket. Today the buzzword is cricket going to be any better? Tomorrow, Srinivasan will sit in judgment on Lalit Modi. This bothers me because Srinivasan is sitting in India. He is running cricket, making it worse, taking that monster and making it into a Frankenstein. And that bothers me because Lalit Modi, whatever else he may have done, the fact remains he's not here. He's not influencing cricket. He's not sitting in judgment on somebody else whom we are calling crooks or whatever it is. Today the point is this, that the game of cricket, the people around him have joined ranks to support Srinivasan. All the southern states, including people like Anil Kumble, have supported Srinivasan to come back. This same Mr. Srinivasan, who's got so many things against him.
Completely shocking.
He said, Arnab, he had said, just let me finish this. He had said that he was going to move away from the game until the thing was over, until the investigation was over. The investigation is just beginning. The police have just filed the charge sheet, and he is going to sit in judgment on Lalit Modi tomorrow. This is what is bothering me.
So who's more hypocritical? Sadbin Jung, why are you pulling your punches today? How hypocritical is it that we are going to have Lalit Modi
No, I'm
banned, and then within
No, no, where am I?
24 or 48 hours of that, we are going to have Srinivasan back, despite all the charges against his son-in-law as per the Mumbai police charge sheet. So Sadbin Jung, we'll talk about Lalit Modi when the time comes for that.
I haven't ever...
But, yes.
No, let's... Arnab, you're coming on and off. Listen, let's understand one thing. I have never pulled my punches. The fact here is that I believe that both Lalit as well as Srinivasan are birds of the same feather. And it's the arrogance which has got them both. And it's the arrogance which is fighting them now and getting Indian cricket down. Because it is exactly the same with Lalit Modi as it is with Srinivasan. They're brilliant administrators. I mean, Lalit gave us a fantastic product. But then he brought it down single-handedly by the person that he came out to be with us, you know, aggressive, arrogant.
No, one second. Again, you bring an equivalence.
No, let me finish.
Problem with that.
Arnab,
No, Saad, investigators have evidence to prove that Gurunath Mayappan, son-in-law of Srinivasan, passes on crucial information that compromises team strategy, gives away information about team composition, information about injury updates, information about who is going to bat where. In other words, you have a son-in-law in your team, in the IPL, who is carrying out fraud on millions of cricket viewers, and you have the father-in-law making a comeback
Billions.
just because he managed to get the votes together from the South Zone. So, you know, I don't want you, Sadbin Jung, to just play even. I don't like to play even. Every time I ask you about Srinivasan, you mention Lalit Modi, then you say both are bad.
I think...
Oh, no.
I think the issue very simple is that we got to look at the charge sheet. Mumbai police have done an outstanding job of a charge sheet. Yeah.
Hang on, Lalit. I started this discussion. Lalit, you've got to let me talk. I started the discussion by stating that Srinivasan should not be there because of the same fact that you're telling me now. I said that how can he decide on these 2 or 3 very critical issues, and when he decides on these critical issues, he is going to sacrifice Indian ethos and Indian cricket. So I started with that. How can you throw that on my face saying that I'm pulling my punches? I'm not. The fact is that as far as arrogance goes, these two are the same. But beyond that, as far as administration goes, I don't think Lalit did any of this. I don't think Lalit had a son-in-law. So that's where the change comes in. Now Srinivasan has to decide on family and on his own team. Now I don't know if Lalit is part of the other teams that he was. If he was, then Lalit has no business to be there and you know, claiming morality, because that's again a conflict. And then again that equates him with Srinivasan. But the fact is that I started by saying that Srinivasan has no business to be heading an organization which is going to be deciding on critical issues and thereby influencing, changing Indian ethos and maybe the laws, maybe the definitions. So how can you say I'm pulling my punches?
No, the point is I see you making an equivalence. That's all.
Arnab, one comment.
I see you drawing that comparison every time. And I'd say, I see you drawing that comparison every time.
Arrogance, man.
Between Lalit Modi on the one side, Lalit Modi, it began with you saying, and even Kishore Bhimani made that point, that both are arrogant people, both have misused the system, you know, both are representatives of a corrupt system. In other words, all of you are saying that. But what I'm saying here, Kishore Bhimani, is this, that here you have the son-in-law of somebody who's accused with cheating, forgery, criminal conspiracy, passing information which compromised the team, Indian Penal Code, you know, cheating at the Games, Information Technology Act and Gambling Act. And you have the father-in-law saying, listen,
and one more thing,
I can't do anything about my son-in-law. I'm sorry, let's move on. I have got the votes from the South Zone, and I will stare you back and be there back as BCCI chief. That's what Srinivasan saying, Kishore Bhimani.
Arnab, let me add one thing to it.
Can I interject?
Apart from all these accusations, to me, just if I can just finish in 1 minute, what bothers me most of all, apart from this supreme arrogance, apart from this attitude of c'est moi, l'état c'est moi, the whole thing is today about he made a promise. Today there is nothing worse than giving your word that I will stand aside while the investigation is going on, and Srinivasan did not stand aside. This is much worse than any kind of misconduct.
Till the BCCI probe is complete.
Yeah, I'm back on air.
That was the joke of a probe. That was not even a probe. That was his own family looking after him, his own Tamil Nadu family. Come on, let's talk frankly. This was an inside job. It was worse than a made-up match. That what he cheated all of us. Today what remains, when the police said, now we are investigating the case, please be a gentleman and say, now I'm going to stand aside.
No, you see, the problem now is, now let me deal with Mr. Lalit Modi. You see, Lalit Modi is today all fire and brimstone, and I must say, Lalit Modi, I find you slightly subdued tonight compared to your usual self. You know, perhaps it's
I'm not subdued at all. I'm having first time a great debate on. We're having a great debate. We're having a great debate on times now, which has never been the case of you and me fighting with each other. I think we have very great panelists, and everybody's putting the point for you and getting it across. If you want it like a fist fight, like you usually are, I mean, let's keep it simple. Everybody, I promise you on Twitter, everybody love you that we have got a clean debate on tonight.
Well, I'll keep that offer of a fist fight away because I'm not Mike Tyson. The only point I'd like to make to you very simply is this: that the problem with you, Mr. Lalit Modi, is that you refuse to concede, and I think the time has come for you to concede on national television today that you are the same beneficiary of the same rotten system that you now criticize.
I'm not a beneficiary at all. Excuse me. I'm not a beneficiary of any of the rotten ill gains as far as I'm concerned. I created one of the biggest brands, and I created one of the biggest leagues, and I'm not ashamed of it. I contributed 47,600 crores to BCCI coffers. I'm not ashamed of it.
Says I'm a great administrator.
What I'm ashamed today of is the people sitting out there looting it, looting the BCCI. Yes, I made mistakes along the way, but I'm not ashamed of them. What I'm ashamed, yes, some people said I was arrogant. Yes, I'm ashamed of that fact. I admit it. I was arrogant, without doubt. And there is no harm in admitting that you were about that. No issue. But the problem today lies with the fact
Lalit Modi,
that Indian cricket, global cricket, is going down and down. And that's where the problem lies, and we got to address the issue, or it's going to creep up all the way to the Indian team, and we as a nation who love cricket,
your perception.
There's a problem.
That is your now 1 second, Lalit Modi. That is your perception. You were the beneficiary. Yes. You were protected. Allow me to complete, Lalit Modi. You were protected by the same rules, and every time anyone asked you, Mr. Lalit Modi, what is the basis of your arrogance? You threw rule books, contracts, way systems were run, IPL governing council meetings. You had your minutes of the way IPL was run, and you said, don't teach me how to run the IPL.
You and I have been,
no, 1 second.
And I have been in the same room many times. You and I have been in the... 1 second, let me answer. You and I have been in the same room all the time. I did a press conference on a daily basis, if not twice in a day. I disseminated information. I was there all the time. I didn't throw contracts and things like that. I actually answered every question to the media, to the free flow information. In the case of BCCI today, they hide behind that. They never come in front of the media. They hide behind something. I never hid behind anything. I was fully 24/7 accessible to the media, and I projected my views without doubt, and I created a brand without doubt. So I'm not ashamed of that. Let's not get back to Lalit Modi again. The issue right now is Indian cricket. The issue now is
Srinivasan, a simple point.
What he's going to do to Indian cricket, and that's where the issue lies. I am over and gone with. I'm already banned. I'm already suspended. So why worry about me?
Mr. Modi, first of all, let me make it absolutely
Lalit,
clear.
I want to ask you a question, Lalit.
That I'm not here to put out a case that Mr. Srinivasan should come back. You know, I have expressed my views very clearly about whether with these charges in the Mumbai police charge sheet, I think the biggest question of propriety hangs right there on the head of Mr. Srinivasan. And Mr. Srinivasan should not only pretend to know the rule books, he should know the rule books in the book of propriety, Shishir Ratangiri, shouldn't he? Because Srinivasan says, Shishir, that I have got the support of all 6 zone affiliates. Right? So what is Mr. Srinivasan telling the people
yes,
of India?
they should all
That
be
all of you, don't matter. The whole country does not matter. I have the votes of the
That's
6
true.
South Zone affiliates, and I don't care how you feel about my son-in-law doing all that he did.
No, no,
But
it's
I
more
will
than
come
that.
back and I will walk
more
all
than
over you. That's what Srinivasan is saying
Absolutely
today.
correct.
But what happened to
I
the whole
agree.
cricketing
He doesn't have to
establishment,
canvass
Shishir?
to the rest of the country. He just got to canvass with the people concerned. It is really bad
I
because
understand that, but
the
that's not
colleagues on the
ethical.
board of
That's
my
not ethical,
ex-colleagues on the
Lalit
board,
Modi.
No, no,
they're
Arnab.
they're basically sold
Yes,
out.
Shishir.
They're all sold out. I may not be ethical or not ethical, but Indian cricket is at stake. I'm sorry. Indian cricket is at stake. And if Indian cricket is at stake, I'm happy to take on the ex-colleagues of mine. And if they've been bought out, and I will be very clear and very candid about it. We know elections in BCCI have big
Lalit,
money
please
to play.
define-
And I've
please
been
define
part of it,
what do you
without
mean by
doubt.
sold out?
And there is big money to play.
Arnab,
and I'll be very candid about it.
Arnab,
Sold out very clear.
Arnab,
Then
can I just make a
question
point
from
here?
Saad Bin
It's a give
Jan.
and take.
No, Saad Bin Jan put a counter question.
What is-
I'm sorry.
I know, Lalit, I need you.
What's changed?
Lalit, I
What's
need
changed?
you to tell me what do you mean by sold out? Even I have a point on that, but please explain this sold
no,
out.
I want to.
Sold out by
You say
favor.
that they will- they have
favor-
all sold
I
out.
want to
What do you
ask-
mean by
I'll
that?
tell you what
Arnab.
sold out means. I'll tell you what sold out means. It's favoritism. It's favoritism. It's a quid pro quo. A sold out is a sold out. It's a quid pro quo. It's a favor. It's something that he's going to do in return. That's what a sold out means. It's not
Okay,
about cricket. It's not
Lalit.
about cricket, and we can see it. It's not
Lalit.
about the integrity of cricket. We can see it. Otherwise, why would they support
Well,
a man
exactly.
who's a monster
So on that,
and created
Lalit,
this and is bad for cricket? Why would they support him?
Oh, hang on.
So 1 minute, Lalit
I've
Modi,
got
that's
you.
called favoritism.
All right, I've
That's
got you.
called
I need
sold
to ask
out.
you this one
So
question.
when you
are the
introduced
one
all those
who
clauses
came
which
up with
were
the IPL
intended
code
to
of
restrict
conduct.
the number of bidders in the IPL
One
to just
second.
2 bidders, were you also sold out? When you inserted 2 conditions in the IPL team tenders to favor 2 bidders, were you
1
also
minute,
sold
by the
out?
way. When I launched the IPL,
When you incorporated
1
unreasonable
minute, hello.
conditions in the final
When I
IPT
launched-
without
when
the
I
approval
launched
of the
IPL,
GCC,
there
were you
only
also
11
sold
bidders.
out?
There were only 11 bidders. If you look at your archives and you study the history, there were only 11 bidders. There were actually not millions of bidders. When I launched the IPL, everybody thought it was going to flop. When I wrote the rule book, I didn't
Come on,
conceive
Lalit, people
everything.
came
I
and
conceived
went.
a lot of things. I couldn't. I only could, project.
One second.
I'm sorry. When I
Lalit
did
Modi, the
conceive
others
it,
want
I
to
looked into
respond
the
to you. I'm
future.
giving,
One thing,
I'm letting
I
Shishir
have to ask you
Adangani
this,
come in.
Arnab.
Shishir Adangani is not completely
One
convinced.
thing.
Okay, Saad Bin
Lalit,
Jan
Lalit,
first, and
just
after
one
that
thing.
Shishir. Saad. Yeah.
1 second.
Shishir was part of
Lalit,
it.
just one quick question, Lalit. You wrote the IPL code of conduct, and I'm going to read, and I'm going to read from the first line. Cricket is a game that owes much of its unique appeal to the fact that it is to be played not only within the law, but also within the spirit of the game. Are only the players supposed to be playing within the spirit of the game? What happened to you? What happened to Srinivasan? Why don't you guys play within the spirit of the game? Why have you set up such a precedent where the spirit of the game does not exist for you officials?
You're right. You're right. You're right.
answer that, Lalit, because
right.
all of us want to know
One second.
this.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. All I'm saying is everybody should play, and administrators have a bigger role to play. If we as administrators compromise, of course there's a problem. And it's going to go to the grassroots of the
Shishir.
problem, because if administrators...
Shishir to Lalit Modi, I have 2 minutes on this debate. Shishir.
Organization, without doubt.
Shishir. Lalit, Shishir saying something to you.
I can't hear him.
Yeah, I just want to say, Lalit's making the point
hear
about
your
people being bought out and things like that. My only question, Arnab, through you is, how have things changed? When he was in power, it was the same, wasn't it? And two, he talks about making rules. He talks about Srinivasan flouting rules. What happened? There was a player called Ravindra Jadeja who was banned for a year by Lalit Modi because he was negotiating with a franchise. And I'm given to understand that the franchise and the player both need to be brought to book for that. But only the player got the ban, didn't he? Now, these are questions he needs to answer. I mean, he's talking about today
Lalit,
that
respond.
everybody's been brought over and they've been bought over. But they were also bought over then, weren't they?
I want to answer that question.
Lalit.
I would like to answer that question very clearly. And you were part of the team that was trying to buy that player and was negotiating with that player, the Mumbai Indians. Very clearly, you were part of that team, and I banned the player, and I wanted to ban the player for a longer period of time. But ultimately, I was not the chairman of the committee that took the disciplinary action. It went to the BCCI disciplinary committee, and they only gave him a year ban. And guess what? It was done because to protect him to
Lalit
play
Modi,
back
Lalit
to Chennai
Modi,
Super Kings
Lalit
for
Modi.
Srinivasan. That only happened after the fact.
Lalit Modi, you said
Very
in
clearly, I was a
February
member of the
2012, you said you
committee.
allowed
I was not the
yourself to be
chairman.
arm twisted in swinging Andrew Flintoff's auction to Chennai Super Kings in 2009, and that's why it's being asked you, how can you take a high moral ground when you yourself
you run an
adversely
organization.
affected the credibility of Indian cricket by admitting to influencing such a decision? I have asked you this before. The shoe's beginning to bite.
I'm answering that again and again and again. I am ready to bite, but if you let me finish. I had a bigger agenda. I had to take the board along, and I was ready, and I was wrong to have allowed that thing to happen in case of Flintoff issue. But I had a bigger agenda to make going forward. I had many issues going forward, and if I was going to take, and I did take on the board, people in the board, and that's the reason I'm sitting out here. I took them on all the time.
Last word to Kishore Bhimani has something to say to you.
And you look at
clearly the word of wisdom from Kolkata. Lalit Modi is saying something to you a few hours before you could be banned. You could be banned for life. Listen to him. What's your advice to Lalit Modi, Kishore?
I have a larger issue
May I
here
speak
which
or
need to
not?
ask.
I have one small point to make. We have talked about selling out, buying out. Let's explain the term. What Saad was saying, what Shishir was saying, there's a lot of substance in this. What is really happening is that the cozy club is functioning in a big way. The fact that these 6 gentlemen support Srinivasan, what is the reason? It's nothing to do with buying out and selling out literally. It is to do with the fact that they will be in that situation one day when the cozy club will close ranks and say, let cricket go to hell, we will support you. This happens time and again. It has happened in the time of Dalmia. It has happened in the time of other presidents, where the point is, you boys look out. Because if you don't support me, you see what happens to you. See what's happened to Bindra. Man who speaks out, and look where he is. This is what happens.
Kishore, you're absolutely right, and that's exactly the case. That's what I mean, buying and selling out. That's exactly the term I mean, and that's what it means.
Lalit Modi, we can talk about this in detail tomorrow. But last question to you is, life's come full circle for you, Lalit Modi. Okay, we just lost the line with him. I was just about to ask him this, and I'll ask him this tomorrow perhaps. Life comes full circle. Lalit Modi on the verge of a life ban, and Srinivasan's on the verge of a comeback. What a superb irony. Yes, Saad, last word to you.
No, but on the verge of a comeback, hang on the verge of a comeback on what count? On the verge of a comeback with
on
what?
The count of the way
can
the
I ask that question?
Arnab,
do I have? Arnab?
Saad, I'll just give you a byline of the BCCI. It says the old order, change it, yielding place to old. So don't run out a possibility or rule out a possibility of Mr. Lalit Modi coming and hugging Srinivasan 4 years later or 5 years later and sitting there in the corridors of power, okay?
And I ask, if that happens, will cricket get any better? Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. We'll talk more about this tomorrow. Thank you very much. And that's it on the Newshour tonight. Thank you very much for joining me. Good night and goodbye.